Once upon a very long time, in the land of Zagarip at northern part of Agago Island, there lived a forever praised cripple. He was not born crippled, but humans made him so. He once had a wife and 4 kids. Let me introduce this man to you. His name was Emmer Matthew. He was an hard-working cameraman and a master of ceremony MC. He is a well-known man due to his heart filled with love, sharing, and respect for any class. His humility and ways of living motivated many people around him. There was a photo shot that he was employed for at a time of festive period. This contract was contracted to him by a great businessman's daughter, Precious. Precious was a daughter of Ambassador Collins. Ambassador Collins got his wealth from his 2 major businesses, which are collections of rents from his 5 estates that is well built and occupied 20 mighty 2-story buildings each, and collections of taxes from his 40 cabs drivers. He alone runs his businesses while his daughter spends the money. Now, back to the contract. Mr. Matthew was inside his apartment watching a TV program when he heard a knock on the entrance door. "Who is there?" he asked, still sitting. No response came back to him. While he was looking curious, another knock banged on the door. He stood up with a curious look and walked his way to the door, stood behind the door and asked, "Who is there?" "Good morning, sir. My name is Felix. I am from Amanda Direct Delivery Store. I have a delivery to deliver to you, sir." A sound response outside the door drove him to opening the door. He opened the door and found a well-dressed, decent young man at his frontage. The stranger introduced himself again and handed a white rectangular envelope to Emmer Matthew. He collected it, signed an acknowledging note, and they both departed. That moment, he turned his way into his house and slammed the door. He sliced the envelope at the top right angle and gently unwrapped the letter inside it. He brought out the letter inside the envelope, and wow! It was a contract issued from an ambassador's daughter to him. It states that his service is needed at Miss Precious' friend's get-together party that was going to be hosted few days to the day he received the letter. A contact number was attached at the last note on the letter for him to call if he is interested. Immediately, he grabbed his telephone and dialed the contact number. A woman picked the call. They spoke for almost an hour. Part of the discussion was the amount he will be paid. She asked him if he could do an excellent job with the sum of $1,000. He could not keep the shock to himself alone. An awesome shout escaped his mouth. He apologized to the woman speaking on the line for shouting and agreed to take the payment. He promised several times to deliver a perfect pictures after attending the event. They both had a warm agreement and the call ended. Only him inside the house. He jumped up and down in excitement, rushed inside to take a dress, and later left to visit his wife and children at the western part of Agago Island. He arrived at Jerusaros, western part of Agago Island from Zagarip, northern part of Agago Island, a 3 hours journey with 4 different stops. He successfully and happily arrived home to his beloved family, who had been waiting for his return for so long. Remember that it was work. A photography job opportunities had led him to having a stay at Zagarip. He disclosed the good news to his family, and they were also happy that their husband will be so successful and great after the event, which the contract stated. He promised his wife to move all of them to Zagarip after the contract ends. Converting $1,000 to the currency spent in Agago Island is a very huge amount of money. He spent a day with his family and zoomed back to Zagarip to prepare for his big day since the event is 2 days away. After a long journey back, a terrible competition began between him and 2 others. A competition that involves being in. Who could they be? What could he have done? If you enjoyed listening to this story, stay for part 2.